At 76, the world reflects on Ozzy Osbourne, the legendary Prince of Darkness, who helped shape the sound and spirit of heavy metal. Few names in rock history resonate with such lasting intensity. More than an icon, he became a symbol recognized across generations and cultures. Yet as time softened the roar around him, the final chapters of his life unfolded in unexpected stillness. The spotlight mattered less, the labels faded away, and what remained was a quieter pursuit, a turn inward toward meaning, memory, and the simple weight of being human beyond the myth. Instead, Ozzy's thoughts gradually settled on something intensely personal, a quiet hope that only his wife, Sharon, truly understood. It wasn't a dramatic request or a grand gesture, but a deeply symbolic desire that came to define his final chapter and offered him a rare sense of calm. If Ozzy Osbourne's journey has ever made you smile, pause, or feel inspired, take a moment to support the story by liking this video and subscribing so you don't miss more unforgettable moments. Drop a 1 in the comments if his music or life has ever spoken to you, or a 0 if you feel differently. Now let's step into this intimate chapter and explore what ultimately gave Ozzy a sense of peace at the end of his path. He was also one of the funniest people I've ever known. I will miss him deeply. These sincere words from Sir Rod Stewart reflected not only personal sorrow, but the genuine affection felt by those who shared time with Ozzy Osbourne beyond the spotlight. To his peers, Ozzy was never just a legendary figure. He was kind, approachable, and filled every room with warmth and humor. Rod Stewart, a fellow traveler in the world of rock, offered a farewell that touched millions. Goodbye, Ozzy. Rest peacefully, my friend, until we meet again. His message went beyond tribute. It was the quiet goodbye of one soul to another, a final gesture of respect to a man whose presence and spirit will continue to live on through music and memory. The feeling of loss reached far beyond Rod Stewart alone. Musicians from across genres stepped forward to recognize the immense influence Ozzy Osbourne had on their lives and creative paths. Among them was Ronnie Wood of the Rolling Stones, who spoke of Ozzy as a true symbol of Birmingham, not only for his music but for the role he played in shaping the city's cultural spirit. Wood highlighted Ozzy's rare ability to create, inspire, and define a sound that continues to guide new generations. His reflection echoed what so many others expressed, that Ozzy's impact was measured not only through his songs, but through the culture he helped build and the doors he opened for those who came after. Ozzy Osbourne left a lasting imprint, not only on fans, but on fellow artists, close friends, and the very heartbeat of music itself. Metallica, one of the bands that took the stage at Villa Park, honored Ozzy Osbourne with a tribute that was quiet yet deeply powerful. The band shared a single image of themselves alongside Ozzy, paired with one broken heart emoji, a minimal gesture that carried immense meaning. Its simplicity resonated with millions of fans worldwide, expressing both grief and profound respect without the need for explanation. For a group as influential as Metallica, that moment represented more than a goodbye. It was a recognition of the figure who helped lay the groundwork for rock and metal as they know it. In that single post, they conveyed what language often cannot: appreciation, reverence, and the enduring legacy of Ozzy Osbourne, an artist whose influence forever reshaped the sound of music. Through his extraordinary contributions, Ozzy Osbourne became far more than a recognizable name. He came to represent the very essence of rock music itself. For more than 5 decades, he devoted his energy, emotion, and imagination to his art, helping shape a genre that would resonate across cultures and generations. The tributes from Metallica and countless other artists reflect the depth of his influence and the respect he earned throughout the music world. His sound, his vision, and his fearless originality left a lasting mark that continues to inspire new voices to emerge. And though Ozzy is no longer present in body, his legacy, carried through music, memory, and the hearts of millions, will continue to reverberate through time, securing the Prince of Darkness as one of the most enduring figures ever to stand on a stage. Ozzy Osbourne's creative partnerships stretched across generations, linking early rock trailblazers with modern metal voices, demonstrating that his reach extended beyond sound and into the wider landscape of culture itself. Artists of every era carry traces of his influence, reflecting the vision of someone who expanded the boundaries of what rock and metal could become. In his final weeks, the wave of affection from fans and the global music community was more than an expression of sorrow. It was a shared realization that a defining chapter in music history was quietly closing. While the world grieved, it also paused in deep respect, acknowledging the extraordinary impact of an artist whose creativity, spirit, and fearless individuality permanently reshaped the course of music. In later interviews, Sharon Osbourne shared that Ozzy had entrusted her with something deeply personal, a final request she felt bound to honor. "He asked me to do something for him that only I could do," she revealed, choosing to keep the details private. Her words highlighted the depth of responsibility she carried during his final weeks. Sharon was not simply supporting him through those days. She was the keeper of his most intimate wish, a promise shaped by love, trust, and a bond forged through every chapter of their life together. Those closest to the family later shared that Sharon Osbourne remained deeply composed during that period, quietly coordinating every detail to ensure Ozzy's final intentions were carried out exactly as he envisioned. Even while carrying immense emotional weight, she displayed remarkable resilience, supporting Ozzy not only in practical ways, but through constant emotional presence and care. Her actions in those final moments went beyond obligation or affection. They reflected a lifelong partnership shaped by trust, endurance, and mutual understanding. What Sharon represented was the true core of their connection, not merely a marriage, but the strength of a family united by love, loyalty, and a shared spirit that had grown stronger over time. In the final days of Ozzy Osbourne's life, the Osbourne family drew close around the man they loved so deeply. His children, Kelly, Jack, Amy, along with his older children, Jessica and Louis, spent time by his side, fully aware of how meaningful each shared moment had become. Those days carried a quiet sense of reverence, filled with warmth, appreciation, and gentle reflection as the family gathered in unity. The figure who had once welcomed the world into his lively household through the Osbournes was now embraced by calm and privacy, surrounded only by those who knew his heart best. In the end, what endured was not the echo of fame or spectacle, but the steady presence of family, honoring the father and husband whose love had shaped their lives. To the public, only fragments of the truth were visible. From the outside, Ozzy Osbourne appeared as a legend facing the natural limits of time, a familiar figure enduring the closing trials of an extraordinary life. What remained unseen were the silent arrangements, the private exchanges, and the heavy emotional responsibility Sharon carried as she navigated what would become the most meaningful moment of his final chapter. This was never a narrative driven by recognition, success, or headlines. It was not the spectacle many expected. At its core, this was a story of devotion, of quiet strength, selfless love, and the grace of a woman preparing to part with the person who had defined her world. The way Ozzy Osbourne chose to close his journey reflected exactly who he had always been: enduring, unyielding, and unmistakably larger than life. No one understood that truth more deeply than Sharon, who had stood beside him through every challenge and every victory. Ozzy never wanted his story to be defined by illness, nor remembered through the lens of limitation or decline. In his final chapter, he wished simply to remain himself and to depart as the Prince of Darkness, a symbol of inner strength, defiance, and a spirit that could not be diminished. It was more than a personal wish. It was a quiet declaration, a final message meant to live on in the hearts of those who loved him, reminding the world that true legends do not disappear. They rise beyond time. Although Sharon Osbourne chose to keep the specifics of Ozzy's final wish private, she made one truth absolutely certain. She was unwavering in her commitment to see it realized. She was determined that Ozzy's farewell would reflect the strength and dignity that defined his life, not as someone overshadowed by illness, but as a figure who remained proud, resolute, and true to himself until the end. Her devotion revealed a depth of love that went beyond care or protection. In the end, Sharon's promise became a final expression of honor, a reminder that the purest form of love is not only meeting someone's needs, but preserving the spirit, pride, and legacy they spent a lifetime creating. In a deeply emotional revelation, Ozzy Osbourne's final wish was not to quietly slip away, but to return to the place where his story first took shape, Birmingham, for one last appearance. It was a wish rooted in meaning and identity, shaped by his enduring love for music and a powerful need to reconnect with the city that formed both the man and the legend. Sharon, who had shared every chapter of his life, later reflected that in his final weeks, Ozzy's heart was set on standing once more in his hometown, surrounded by familiar ground. This desire was more than a closing note to his career. It was a final act of connection, a moment meant to honor his journey, his companions, his devoted fans, and all those who had stood with him through a lifetime marked by sound, struggle, and triumph. Surrounded by his bandmates and the fans who had shaped his path, Ozzy Osbourne longed to feel that shared energy and connection one final time. This was never meant to be just another performance. It was a tribute to everything he had poured into music and into the worldwide rock community. Sharon understood that bringing this wish to life would be extraordinarily difficult, yet she also knew this was how Ozzy wanted his story to close. Not in quiet absence, but in sound and presence. It was to be a farewell rich with meaning and resolution, marked by the same raw authenticity that had always defined him. The Prince of Darkness offering his final bow entirely on his own terms. On July 5th, 2025, Ozzy Osbourne's final wish was brought to life. With careful devotion, Sharon Osbourne helped bring together a historic event titled Back to the Beginning at Villa Park, turning the home of Aston Villa Football Club into a place of deep significance for heavy metal. The night went far beyond honoring a remarkable career. It became a living moment in music history. For the first time in 2 decades, Ozzy stood on stage once more with his original Black Sabbath bandmates, Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler, and Bill Ward, creating an evening filled with emotion, unity, and reflection. It was not simply a long-awaited reunion, it was a final shared moment between the men who shaped the genre, a closing chapter that matched the magnitude of the legacy they created together. The July 5th gathering at Villa Park, later remembered as Ozzy Osbourne's final appearance, sent a powerful wave of emotion across the global music community. More than 40,000 fans filled the stadium, while millions more watched from around the world through live streams. It became a night defined by intensity and meaning, a rare moment that rose beyond music alone. With each song and every shared note, Ozzy and his Black Sabbath bandmates revived the spirit of an earlier era, channeling the energy and feeling that had shaped generations. That performance was more than a celebration of a career. It etched a lasting mark into rock history, standing as a final, unforgettable chapter authored by one of the greatest figures ever to step onto a stage. Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Slayer, and Anthrax each took the stage as part of the tribute, honoring Ozzy Osbourne, the figure who helped form the very backbone of heavy metal. They appeared not simply as fellow performers, but as artists shaped by his influence, musicians whose own paths had been guided by the foundations Ozzy helped create. Together, they filled the night with a powerful sense of reverence, where every chord and every lyric felt like a gesture of respect toward the man who opened the way. There was only one place this could happen: Aston, where Ozzy was born and raised, Sharon Osbourne shared. Her words were more than a statement of location. They reflected the deep bond between Ozzy and his hometown, the place that gave rise to both his identity and the music that would go on to change the world. Sharon Osbourne later shared that from the earliest stages of planning, her intention was to unite every artist and band Ozzy had ever worked with, inviting them to perform the defining songs from Black Sabbath and his iconic solo years. It grew into a full music festival, Sharon explained, underscoring how meaningful the moment was, not only for Ozzy, but for the global metal community as a whole. What started as a single farewell performance gradually transformed into something much larger, a living celebration of music history. That night, artists stood together in a powerful convergence of sound, paying tribute to the man who inspired them and reaffirming the lasting influence of a legend whose impact continues to endure. When Ozzy Osbourne finally appeared, seated upon a dark throne at the heart of the stage, the reaction from the crowd was overwhelming. For many in attendance, the image became instantly unforgettable. A man visibly shaped by time and illness, yet elevated by a presence that rose far above the physical. In that single moment, Ozzy reflected everything he had always stood for: resilience, defiance, and the undying spirit of rock and roll. He sat not merely as a performer, but as a sovereign of metal, a living symbol of power and vulnerability intertwined. The audience was not simply watching an artist. They were witnessing legend and reality converge. And when Ozzy finally spoke, his voice carrying emotion as he said, "Mum, I'm home," the stadium grew still. Few realized it then, but this marked the final return, the last time the Prince of Darkness would face his people in the city where his story first began. Following that defining moment, Ozzy Osbourne drew upon his familiar surge of energy and launched into the instantly recognizable opening of Crazy Train. In that instant, the music became more than sound. It became vitality itself, the force that continued to fuel his spirit. "You have no idea how this makes me feel. Thank you from the depths of my heart," he told the crowd, emotion unmistakable in his voice. The response was immense. Waves of applause and cheers rising from more than 40,000 fans filling Villa Park. This was never just a performance. It was a shared celebration of gratitude, reverence, and lasting connection for an artist who had given his life to his craft. Though his physical strength had faded, Ozzy's spirit surged brighter than ever, reminding everyone that true legends do not disappear. They endure within the hearts of those who carry their belief forward. Black Sabbath's set that evening honored their earliest and most defining creations, songs that shaped not only their own path, but an entire chapter of rock history: War Pigs, Iron Man, and Paranoid. These were more than familiar titles. They were enduring anthems, woven into the shared memory of generations. Though the performance itself was short, it carried the emotional weight of a lifetime. A rare moment of completion where every note and every word reflected the journey the band had traveled together. As fireworks lit the sky above Villa Park, the atmosphere felt almost unreal, a farewell both powerful and deeply moving. And when the band offered their final bow, it marked more than the close of a show. It signaled the culmination of more than 5 decades of creativity, defiance, and unity. A lasting tribute to music, memory, and an unbreakable bond. Although the event was formally presented as a charity fundraiser, ultimately generating an extraordinary $189 million, its deeper meaning reached far beyond numbers or recognition. For Ozzy Osbourne, the night was not simply a tribute to a remarkable career, but a personal gesture of gratitude toward everyone who had shared in his journey. Beneath the roar of applause and the gaze of the world, the concert became something quietly profound, a final passage through the music that had shaped his life. It was Ozzy's way of offering thanks one last time to the fans, the friends, and the family whose presence gave purpose to every chapter of his story. This moment became Ozzy Osbourne's farewell, the final hope he had carried quietly through his later years. Aware that time was finite, he chose not to yield to fear or uncertainty. Instead, that awareness sharpened his determination to complete one last dream, to say goodbye in the same way he had lived, through music. He never wanted his story to end in silence or be defined by decline. He wanted light, sound, and the presence of the fans who had stood with him through every rise and every fall. This was the wish he placed in the hands of Sharon, his lifelong partner and constant support through every chapter. All he asked for was one final moment, a last bow on the stage where everything began, in the city that shaped both the man and the legend. Sharon Osbourne brought Ozzy back to where he belonged, surrounded by the people, the memories, and the music that had defined his entire existence. In that deeply moving moment, she later shared through tears, "He wanted me to help him remember who he truly was." Those words reflected more than love. They revealed a sacred promise she had honored, making sure Ozzy's final moments were shaped by dignity, respect, and the essence of his true identity. The man who had spent a lifetime giving sound and emotion to the world had come full circle, returning to his roots, to the city, the music, and the spirit where everything began. In every sense, it was a fitting farewell, the close of a monumental chapter in rock history, and the final page in the life of a legend whose presence will never truly disappear. On July 22, 2025, just 17 days after his final appearance, Ozzy Osbourne passed away at the age of 76. His family shared the news through a deeply moving statement that resonated with millions across the world. The sense of loss was profound, felt not only by those who loved him personally, but by the entire music community, as one of rock's most defining figures reached the end of his journey. Yet Ozzy's presence has not vanished. It lives on through the melodies he left behind, the artists he inspired, and the memories that continue to stir the hearts of fans everywhere. Though the stage now stands quiet, his voice, his spirit, and his legacy remain eternal, forever woven into the rhythm of rock and the soul of music itself. With deep sorrow, the Osbourne family shared the news that their beloved Ozzy Osbourne passed away peacefully, surrounded by family and an outpouring of love. He returned home one final time, embraced by those closest to him. His absence leaves a space that can never truly be replaced, yet the devotion and legacy he leaves behind will continue to endure. Messages of remembrance have arrived from across the globe, from devoted fans to fellow artists, each reflecting the respect, gratitude, and affection felt for a man who reshaped the world of music. While the world grieves, Ozzy's spirit lives on, a timeless figure whose presence will never dim and whose voice will forever resonate at the heart of rock and roll. Ronnie Wood, guitarist of the Rolling Stones, referred to Ozzy Osbourne as the undefeated king of heavy metal, a tribute that captured the magnitude of a man who redefined the genre itself. Sir Elton John, one of Ozzy's closest companions, spoke with visible emotion, calling him a true legend and a friend I will always hold close. Their reflections revealed the profound respect and affection shared by some of music's greatest figures, because Ozzy was not only a trailblazer, but also a genuine and loyal friend to those who knew him personally. Tony Iommi, Ozzy's Black Sabbath bandmate and lifelong brother in music, summed up the loss with stunned simplicity, admitting, "I still can't believe it." "My dear friend Ozzy passed away just weeks after our night at Villa Park," Tony Iommi wrote. "It's devastating, and there are no words that can truly capture it. There will never be another like him. Geezer, Bill, and I have lost our brother." His message carried the weight of decades shared in music, friendship, and history. Ozzy's passing reshaped the meaning of that unforgettable evening. What was once seen as a powerful reunion of rock's most influential figures became, in time, a final goodbye. The concert, initially remembered as a triumphant milestone, took on a deeper significance. A closing embrace from the brothers who stood together at the birth of heavy metal, turning the last pages of a legend's story with unity, respect, and love. It was far more than a benefit event or a long-awaited reunion. It marked the closing chapter of an extraordinary life. That night became a landmark in music history, as Ozzy Osbourne not only bid farewell to his fans, but also to the city and the legacy he had shaped over more than 5 decades. His final wish was realized, a goodbye that was intimate, deeply moving, and unmistakably true to who he was. And standing quietly behind it all was Sharon, his lifelong companion, who had endured every trial at his side. Through steadfast love and unshakable devotion, she ensured Ozzy's wish was honored, giving him the chance to take his final bow with grace, dignity, and the enduring love of those who had believed in him from the very beginning. Ozzy Osbourne is remembered by his devoted wife Sharon, their children, Kelly, Jack, and Amy, along with Jessica and Louis from his first marriage. He is also survived by grandchildren who will carry his name and legacy forward with pride. While Ozzy is no longer physically present, his spirit and the music he gave to the world continue to live on through his family and in the hearts of those who cherished him. He dedicated his life entirely to his craft, offering a sound and a presence that can never truly be replicated. For generations to come, Ozzy Osbourne will be honored not only as the Prince of Darkness, but as an enduring legend whose voice helped shape the very soul of rock and heavy metal. Ozzy Osbourne's music, his influence, and his unforgettable final appearance in Birmingham are now permanently woven into the story of music history. It was a powerful moment, a farewell filled with triumph and meaning, one that only Ozzy himself could have delivered. Do you feel this was the right way for a legend to bring the final chapter of such an extraordinary life to a close? If Ozzy Osbourne's journey has ever inspired or touched you, leave a 1 in the comments, or a 0 if you see it another way. We'd love to read your thoughts below. And if you enjoyed this video, remember to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss more stories about the icons who shaped the world. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.